So, what if I told you that one of the most profound texts in Buddhism, the Avatamsaka Sutra, isn't just a collection of ancient wisdom, but is actually a blueprint for a spiritual network? We're going to deconstruct this sacred text and treat it like an operating system for enlightenment. Let's dive in. You know, when you think about the spiritual path, what's the first image that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably someone meditating, all alone on a misty mountaintop, right? It's this classic idea of a solitary journey. But what if that's just not the whole picture? What if the real secret is something way more connected? And that's the wild idea we're exploring today. That awakening isn't some personal solo achievement. It's about plugging into a vast, high-speed, decentralized learning network. Think about it, a system that's literally designed for continuous spiritual upgrades. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so how do you log into a network like this? Well, just like any complex piece of tech, you can't just jump in anywhere. You've got to follow the boot up sequence. There's a power on switch, and you have to flip it first. The sutra calls this critical first step fa sin, and it basically means generating the resolve, the deep intention to awaken. For our purposes, let's call it the motivation engine. It is that initial spark, that fundamental decision to even start the journey. Without it, the whole system just stays dark. It won't even boot. And this is just so important to get. The first step isn't about finding the perfect technique or the right practice. Not yet, anyway. It's about activating your will. Without that core resolve to awaken for the benefit of everyone, the entire system just stays offline. Okay, so the system is powered on. Now what? Well, now we need a user. So meet Sudhana. He's the young pilgrim the sutra introduces as our guide. But here's the twist. We're not going to look at him as some kind of mystical special figure. We're going to analyze him as the perfect user model for this entire awakening system. So let's look at his specs, his system information. First, he's got strong historical data, what the text calls good roots from past efforts. Second, his operating system is unpolluted. His actions, his words, his thoughts are all clean. Third, he's like an active learning AI. He is constantly and proactively seeking new information. And finally, and this is key, he's continuously calling what we might call the mentor API, always reaching out for the next piece of wisdom. And this right here, this is the absolute game changer when it comes to understanding Sudhana. He's not some one-off genius, some mysterious black box that we can't ever hope to understand. No, he is the ideal learning system. His journey is a standardized, replicable protocol. His success isn't some unique exception. It's the standard result you get when you perfectly execute the learning process. So we have a system that's powered on, and we have our standard user model. Now, how does the actual learning take place? Well, this is where we get to the core architecture of the whole thing, a decentralized network of mentors. And this idea is just so cool. What it's telling us is that enlightenment isn't something you get from one single teacher. It's not one giant download or one big aha moment. Instead, it's assembled piece by piece, like you're downloading a whole bunch of different software modules from all these different nodes across the network. Let's just trace Sudhana's initial path through this mentor graph. It all kicks off with Manjushri, who's like the chief architect of the whole system. He sends Sudhana to his first mentor, Deva Mega. Deva Mega teaches him one specific skill, one module, and then points him to the next mentor, Arya Mega, and he does the same, and so on. It's this beautiful, structured, yet totally decentralized journey. So that first download, the first module he gets, we can call it consciousness alignment. This is the foundational ability to lock your mind, to tune your awareness onto the frequency of enlightened beings. It's about achieving this perfect synchronization so you can perceive their wisdom directly without being blocked by time or space. Okay, next upgrade, the Global Awareness Engine. This module is a full-spectrum observation system. It gives you the ability to see reality with the sheer vastness and depth of an ocean, to perceive all beings, all worlds, and that incredibly intricate web of cause and effect that connects every single thing. And the third module we see him download is something we could call full stack liberation. This is the big one. It's the ability to move totally freely through all dimensions of existence. And we're not just talking about physical freedom, but freedom from the constraints of space, time, identity, even causality itself. It's ultimate system-level freedom. So our user is downloading all these incredibly powerful ability modules. But for what purpose? What's the end goal? What defines the ultimate state of the system? Well, this is where the final, critical component comes into play, the system configuration file. You see, when Sudhana makes his vows, he's doing so much more than just saying some nice words. He is actively programming his own spiritual trajectory. He's literally writing the configuration file for his own operating system, defining precisely the future state he intends to achieve. And check this out. We can actually break down his code. His world model defines reality as a prison of ignorance that he needs to break free from. His target system is what he wants to become, a being of wisdom, compassion, and liberation. His action path is the method, following the 6 perfections. And his ultimate vehicle is his commitment to the Mahayana, the great vehicle for awakening all beings. He's literally programming his own enlightenment. Okay, so this is an absolutely fascinating framework, right? But the most important question is, how do we actually use it? Well, that's the best part. This ancient blueprint can actually be distilled into a pretty clear, actionable user manual that we can use today. Here it is, your Awakening Network Starter Kit. Step 1. Do a daily motivation check. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? If the answer isn't for the awakening of all, then it's time to reboot. Step 2. Build your own mentor matrix. Learn from lots of sources. Books, teachers, other people, you name it. Don't just rely on a single node. Step 3. Practice in modules. Focus on one skill at a time. And step 4. Set your intention. Every single day, restate that vow and configure your own system for success. And this, right here, this is the ultimate takeaway of the whole thing. The core idea isn't about which specific method you use. It's about how you plug yourself into this vast awakening network and commit to a process of continuous upgrades. It's a complete shift in perspective from, I am practicing alone, to, I am plugging into a network. So, there you have it, an ancient blueprint for a spiritual network. We've seen the power on switch, the ideal user, the modular learning process, and the system configuration file. The only question left is the one on your screen right now. You've seen the blueprint. What are you going to build?